And so now we get into the next part of the process where we found out that our goal was for us. It wasn't for anybody else. It wasn't for the wrong reasons. It wasn't for reasons that take away from the world, that diminish others' lights, or make the world a worse place, right? Whatever that means to you. And so now we move to the second part. We now have a basis of the values that we embody because we found out what we lacked and the reason why we have yet to achieve that goal. I don't want you guys to look at lack as a bad thing. I want you to look at it as a moment to grow, as an opportunity to see yourself for who you truly are and then make changes, right? Because your whole entire life, yeah, you may know that you lack this, you lack that, or you think that you lack it, but in all honesty, the reason why you think that is because you believe that you lack it, right? The next step in the process is, and that's the what, right? That's the next course is changing what we think, changing what we believe, changing how we view that lack, and starting to believe that we don't actually at all. With the way in which we do that is by taking action. That's a bit farther out in the course. Make sure you guys stay tuned to get there. But where we are right now, we're going to download this Microsoft Word and we're going to work through who we currently are, right? And this is extremely important to do because if we don't know where we are starting, we won't know where we want to get to or what we want to do or how we're going to do it, right? The whole purpose of this exercise is to place yourself against your goal. If you remember in the first video, I told you guys that your goal was here and you think that you are, or you think that your goal is over here, right? And this is you right here. In reality, what we want to do is start to align ourselves, one, with action, two, with cause, and three, with the values. But first, we have to understand what we currently value. So if we write down what we are with regard to our goal. So I want you guys to start down here, write down that goal to help others is mine achieve their goals. And we become people who no longer lack it, right? But let's not jump ahead. So who am I, right? I am Coach Mule, and this is in regard to your goal, right? We want to start thinking about who we are in alignment with our goal. So, for example, if your goal is to be a fitness trainer, you want to write down things and identifiable characteristics that align with your goal of being a fitness trainer. So, you may say, I am a licensed fitness trainer, right? We want to start to think of ways in which we identify with our goal. Now, this model can be used for anything. Anything you want to fact check, any identifiable characteristic, literally anything, right? If you want to see yourself for who you truly are, don't even put a goal at the bottom. Just write down the first thing that comes to your mind. But remember, throughout this course, our main focus is goal. But in those one on one sessions, we have the opportunity to go a little bit deeper and see what else is on your mind and see why you identify with that. Because seeing why you identify with that will also be able to see, based on the actions, why it's stopping you, why it's hurting you, or helping you. So, in regard or with my goal in mind, I am Coach Mule, right? Now, what does that mean? That's just a name. Coach Mule is just a name. What does Coach Mule do? He helps you achieve your goal. And this is weekly, daily, hourly. I do this every single day. We have one on one calls every single day. Slots open every single day, right? No breaks. I'm here for you whenever you need it from 6 p.m. to whenever. I'm also starting to open up time slots in the morning, 6 a.m. to the start of work. As you guys know, we are still grinding to be able to provide you guys with those resources. But why am I doing that? Is because I want to be there for someone when they need it, like I felt like I did. In reality, I just had to be there for myself. But I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. I want to be there for you and aid you in your journey. So, what do? I do one on one calls, I do Twitch streams where we do live Discord chats, I do YouTube, TikTok, and if you guys see my seminars on YouTube, you guys know the presentation that I did outlined what I do on the daily, right? I'm spending 30 or so hours on this brand, on helping you guys, and then 45 hours on the job. And in those 30 hours, plus, I'm working on uploading TikToks, I'm editing, I'm getting as much content out as possible to show you guys what we stand for, what I value, and to also build trust, right? I want you guys to trust that this information is useful, but first you have to trust yourself, right? It's nothing if you don't trust yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, you'll never be able to trust anything else, which is another thing that we can start to work through. And why do I do that? I want to build trust with you guys. I want you guys to know that I'm here for you and that I'm not going to leave you, right? When I started the clothing brand, I left you guys high and dry. There were some people that were asking me for help with the clothing brand. There were some people that are asking me for courses, and I just left, right? I did my own thing. I didn't care about what you guys needed. So now I have to make amends. I have to come back and show you guys that I'm here every single day, no matter the day, no matter the time. And I do this at home, right? I do this specifically on TikTok, on Instagram. This is the socials here, right? TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and YouTube. And so I do it on those different social media platforms. Geographically, Pennsylvania, room, if you want to get very specific, at a desk, so we can start to really get back to the present, which is the purpose of this whole activity, to bring us back to the present and start to see exactly what we are doing or not doing to help us achieve that goal. Then I come down here and I'm like, wait, okay, I'm pretty in line. But see, I've been working through these models for a very long time, so I already know that I'm where I need to be. But let's say, as I mentioned before, there's some things that, I can't really change. For example, let's say right now you want to be, or it's not even about a career, it's not even about an activity, you just want to be the most authentic version of yourself, right? This is a goal, right? Don't just think a goal is a job, is a car, is a girl. A goal can be anything, right? It can be anything that you currently aren't that you want to get to, right? Anything. So don't even limit yourself for one moment to just a job, just a name, just an identifiable characteristic. But let's say you get to something where you want to be the best version of yourself and you realize that you can't because someone in your family died and they were the last person who maybe saw you for who you truly were, right? And in this example, we know we can't bring that loved one back, so we have to change how we view it. We have to change and start to become someone who accepts what we cannot change. We cannot bring people back from the dead. There are different ways in which we can start to overcome and start to work through that change, but we cannot physically, mentally, emotionally bring them back, right? They may be here in spirit, depending on what you believe in, but we have to accept it, right? And what we really have to do is accept ourselves because we were putting our acceptance into that person and into their validation. Now, to become someone who accepts, we first have to realize what we cannot change. We cannot change death. Why? Irreversible. You are not God. You are not Him. All right. And then who do you have to become? Right? This is where we start to brainstorm those values. Like, all right, well, I have to become someone who accepts myself, and just keep it very broad. There's no fill in the blanks here. Just put in whatever you think you need to do to accept that. And 100 out of 100 times, it's going to be exactly what you need because you know what you need. You just have to let yourself see it, put it out in the world, put it on paper, put it out into these models, and then take action on it, right? So who do you have to become? You have to be someone that accepts. You have to be someone that let go, someone that can deal with those emotions. What do you have to do? How do you deal with your emotions? What's the best way for you to move on from that, right? And where we really start to see progress is connecting it to our cause, right? So, for example, let's say your cause is relationships, and probably in this specific scenario, that would be pretty accurate since you were putting your love and your trust into someone else that passed away. So, you value relationships pretty highly. And we now know that because you value relationships from the quiz that you took in the first section, we can start to find people and find familiar situations that allow you to become the person, but don't limit your ability and don't hold you back, right? So this is where it becomes tricky because we don't want to just go out and put our trust, our love, our validation into a whole nother human being. We want to do it for ourselves. But because we know relationship is so important, we're going to motivate ourselves through relationships to get that accomplished. So, for example, an activity that you should be doing to overcome yourself or overcome putting your love, your trust into someone else is by loving yourself, right? We want to do the opposite. That's a topic that's going to come a little bit later, but just stick with me here. We're going to do the complete opposite of what you would normally do. So you would normally love that person and they would give you that love back. Instead, you're going to love yourself first, and then you're going to go out because your thing is relationships, because you strive of having relationships and people who love you. Then you're going to go out once you feel like you've given yourself enough love and then give it to other people, right? You're going to use your lovingness, you're going to use your love for people as a motivating factor to love yourself more. Does that make sense? Okay. And so that's a topic that we will discuss and go into more detail in the very next, actually, in when. But right here, we're just introducing ourselves to the topic. So keep it basic. Think of the things that you think you may need to do. And then in the one on one sessions, we'll get a little bit deeper. We'll talk about the reverse theory and how we can start to change and shift to do things that we don't normally do, because obviously what we've been doing our whole entire lives hasn't worked. So let's try something else. But as we start to become people who accept, we can then take the rest of the things that we can change to the next level. Remember, this is only stuff we cannot change. We can't bring people back from the dead. We can't get that dollar that we just spent back. We can't healthily get that cheeseburger that we just ate. We can't healthily unsmoke that cigarette. We can't unhealthily smoke that vape or do all those things, right? Or healthily do that, right? So we have to accept it. Look, I can't change that. But what am I going to do now? What can I do moving forward? We're not going to stay stuck doing a whole bunch of things and just being like, oh man, I can't change it. So I'm just going to keep doing it, right? No, we're going to break that cycle and we're going to move forward with the things that we can change. You can stop buying cigarettes. You can stop buying cheeseburgers. You can stop putting your love into other people. You can stop doing all these things. You can do it. You can do it. And you must believe that you can do it. And if you don't believe yet, you need to focus here and work through each of the things that you know you cannot change and start to accept them. You're going to need to start to love them. You're going to have to love the death. You're going to have to love the fact that you just ate that cheeseburger. And you're going to have to love the fact that you cannot change it. But you know moving forward that you're going to take steps towards eliminating that behavior. You're going to have to love the process. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the good times. Fall in love with the bad times. And remember, how we are going to accomplish it is by connecting it to the thing that we love the most. Remember the 6 things that we talked about for well-being. Once you connect it there, that's when we really start to see progress, right? We really break those loops. So make sure you guys win from within today. Until you are able to accept what you cannot change, you cannot move on to the next level, right? Until you know who you are, what things you think you cannot change, what things you know you must accept, what things you know you can change, you cannot move on to the next level. And then once you get to that level, the real work starts to begin, because we're going to start to compare who you currently are to what you want to do by using someone that is special to you or someone that you look up to, someone in your field, someone that embodies the characteristics, the values that you also want to embody. So make sure you guys win from within. It's your boy, Coach Mew. I'm official like a referee with a whistle, coaching you on the rules of your games. Any questions, drop them down in the comments. For 4 quarters, you just changed your life. So I hope you truly understand the value that's being provided here, and share that value with other people in your life. If there's someone you know that needs this information, who is struggling just repeating a cycle over and over and over again and just doing a bunch of bullshit, right? Because this because this is Coach Mule, because I'm actually living my model, because I'm actually living the framework that I developed, it's gonna look different from you, right? And here you might be jerking off, eating cheeseburgers daily. You might be doing unhealthy habits. You might be smoking cigarettes. You might be doing all these things that are stopping you, right? You might be doing that every single day, every single hour you're taking a smoke break. You may be doing those actions, so frequently that you don't even notice it's become a habit, right? This is the habit that we start to form, right?